With that out of the way,
Okay,
hello
I need to calm
everyone.
down.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to more of the Dungeon Force podcast. This is session 7, as our players just finished up Eritani in our last session, which was, 3 weeks ago, I guess, technically, because we did that. The one shot that was supposed to be 1 week and then turned into two.
Yeah,
The two shot, you
The two
mean?
shot, yeah,
two shot.
basically. In either case, I'll let people do their introductions.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hmm.
Gunner, you're
Gunner?
next.
Muted? Yes, no? Gunner
Oh.
Is Gunner AFK?
He's on a call. He will introduce after.
Oh, he's
So,
on.
Cat.
Got it. Got it. On call.
Hey
We'll
everyone,
introduce
it's
after.
it's Cat5 Gaming, aka Katreya. Once again playing Kona, the Null Thaumaturge.
Hey, I'm Cryos. I am playing Iruxi Gunslinger. And all he's got to say is, life finds a way.
Yeah, Gunner's on call, so he can do an intro at some point, or I can just say that he's playing, his usual character of Donovan Fluffles.
Yep.
Although
He's
I
here.
suppose
He's square.
he might switch to
The other thingy.
yeah, his other Leica, I believe, is the name of her. So, but while Gunner is while Gunner is taking a phone call, I am Serene Inc., the person working on this campaign, taking an old AD&D First Edition campaign, bringing it up to modern day standards, but also kind of converting it more into my own thing. And I want to kind of preface that a little bit, just because the section that we're about to go into is actually entirely, well, I don't want to say entirely my design, but it's not, it doesn't exist in the original campaign, is what I'm saying. So, what we're getting into is not in the original campaign.
It's DLC.
So, yeah, something like that. I mean, it's not so much DLC because it's replacing a story. Originally there was supposed to be a beholder, and there's not a beholder now.
Because he was beholden to no one.
You mean,
So,
you mean an aberrant eye?
yes. So since we're in my universe, it would be an aberrant eye. And by the way,
Was its name Abby?
It's not that there was a beholder, so I had to replace it. I just found something I like better. Like, I came up with something that I like better than the beholder terrorizing a city that was in the original.
All right, sorry about that.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyway, to anyone to anyone listening, once again, this is Gunner. Depending on how the events play out, I'll likely end up switching characters for this session and be playing Leica, the Cobalt Sorceress.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
These guys owe her money.
True enough.
Whatever you do, don't attack the cart.
Cal owes her nothing. He has not bought anything.
She paid for your room.
Yeah, she paid for the room.
How much was the room?
Technically,
much.
Skrarkon doesn't owe any money.
The rat is paying a board fee.
In either case, let's see. Last session, you all finished off the city of Eritani. You made your way to the end of the sewers. You found Zenobia, the leader of the Ruby Knives, who, in an attempt to bring about Eritani's destruction after the Emperor Adonis refused to pay for 9 years of stonemason work that their group did. She attempted to summon a void creature. The void creature, of course, killed her by eating her because it's a void creature. What did you expect was going to happen?
Yeah, what do you expect?
You're like, I realize that the void is something that doesn't necessarily mean the same thing in most settings. Like the term the void can usually mean either a place where the demons come from, or a cosmic force, or the void in this universe doesn't actually exist in the universe because it's the space outside of the universe that's in between all other universes. So it's a great big empty space of blackness where there's really nothing. And yet, as they say, life finds a way. And
That's what I said.
Life began to grow in this infinite blackness. And needless to say, to survive in a completely dark, completely black, space of absolute nothingness, you're not going to be the greatest of things. You're not going to be a great creature. To put it simply, they hunger a lot, and very often creatures of the void, when they come through, feast on whatever they first find, which is often the summoner, because you try to summon something, and so you're right there. Somebody should put warning labels on these things. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
the people that could put the warning labels, they're all dead because they got eaten.
Yeah, we should just cover Cassandra in police tape.
But that said, after you defeated the Void Dragon, technically in the battle, Cassandra showed up. But after the battle, you got a chance to speak with Cassandra. She had come to Eritani to seek aid for her village of Agrinia. It's not her village, but it's where she lives. We'll get more into what Agrinia is like when we get there. You all decided to head on towards Agrinia. You had the option to go basically anywhere. You kind of were unsure, and then your bonds basically said, hey, go here, and you decided to agree with that. So your group has been traveling for several days on the road. The land between Eritani and Agrinia is mostly just wide open grassland There's, trees and whatnot here and there, but it's not like it's not a forest. Um, there's flowers, trees, rocks, all that kind of stuff. But it's a grassland. It's a plains biome, if you will.
I love open grassland. Makes me want to run.
Um,
Good for hunting pigs and cows.
on roughly the third night, you arrive at the You arrive at Frostfire Pass, which is excuse me, which is the pathway through the Frostfire peaks themselves. As you look out towards the mountains, you can see that these particular mountains are extremely tall. Many of them go up and up and up into the sky. You can see why they're called Frostfire Peaks. There are several of the mountains which are frosted over, but then there's equally as many mountains that have no frost on them. And while none of the volcanic mountains currently have lava, like they're not erupting or anything like that currently, there is clear evidence that some of them have had a recent, within the last week, maybe two, eruptions. And so you can see, this particular mountain, one particular mountain is completely void of any snow or ice or anything like that, and you can see a trail of solid. Let's see, what is it? Igneous rock, I think, is what it becomes when magma hardens.
It's either igneous or is it? Well, I know there's also obsidian.
Right. So, yeah, I did a research paper on volcanoes when I was 13 because they interested me, and they still do. Heck, if I remember anything from that though. I mean, that was 22 years ago, so. But yeah, just as a class.
Oh, yep.
The school I went to, once you hit high school, they wanted you to do a research paper every year, just to kind of, help you learn how to do them and whatnot. And so I did research papers, 2 research papers on medical things. One was diseases and one was something else. I don't remember what. No, I do remember what. It was cigarettes. One was on diseases, one was on cigarettes. And let me tell you, if I didn't want to smoke before I did that research paper, I definitely didn't want to smoke after that research paper. I think
The more you know.
I think my the principal gave me a 105% or something.
Oh wow.
Oh, nice.
Because it was so detailed and so informative that she wrote a note on it that was yeah, I definitely don't want. I didn't want to smoke before. I definitely don't want to now. So I got a bonus because it was very clear that I had really done my research,
Yeah, don't smoke, kids. It will kill you.
It will kill you. Oh yeah. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, one of the other ones was on volcanoes, and one of the others was on black holes. So, you know.
Unless you're that like 1 in 100 genetic mutation that can smoke like 50 packs a day and lives to be 100,
Yeah.
and no one knows why.
No one knows why. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But on back to so when magma cools underground, it forms granite,
Right.
and it's I think igneous rocks. It's either fast cooling or slow cooling.
Okay. Well, in either case, you as night approaches on the third day of your journey, your group pauses and camps out, and you make the trip through the pass during the day during the fourth day. It is on the night of the fourth day that your group once again settles down to camp, just on the other side of the pass. You're all, setting, you've got the campfire going, you've set out food and started, cooking and whatnot. When one of you, and I want everybody to give me perception checks so that I can tell you who sees
And
what's
remember,
going to happen.
no perception initiative.
Yeah, don't roll don't roll perception initiative. Make sure you're in the perception skills or whatever it is. By 9, 32, 18, 30. Very good. Okay. I guess technically I should have. Let's see, where is she? Here she is. I should click on Cassandra and have her do a perception skill roll 25. Okay, I didn't figure she would get it. So Cal is busy making, probably, frying up some kind of meat.
From his hunt.
Yeah. But Cal's sitting by the. I don't know why I keep saying Cal. Cal is sitting.
I am not a vegetable.
Right. Cal is, working the campfire, if you will. Cooking up some good meats. Cassandra and Skarkron are both kind of hanging around somewhere in that area. When
Skarkon would be in the carriage, just working on his
stuff.
Alchemy. Because
okay.
You said this is the third day, right?
This is the fourth day.
Fourth day. Oh.
Yes, this is night of the fourth day.
Okay. No, he'd be outside and with everyone else.
Okay. So yeah, everybody is just kind of hanging around the campfire either way.
Hey, who wants some stag?
Kona and Leica. As you're sitting, or as you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, the two of you happen to notice a light coming from not too far off in the distance. It looks like a small little lantern light. Like somebody just walking with a lantern. Before you have had a chance to really peer into what you're seeing, try to get a look at who is carrying the lantern and whatnot. This very large, this very large man, and by large I mean broad, like big arms, big legs, big chest. You hear him shout out, "Hey, you're adventurers, aren't you?"
Kona will activate her lantern in return and be like, "Yeah,
Oh,
what do you
God.
want?"
At first, the very large man does not immediately respond. He just takes a few steps closer until he is within vision of the entire group. Regardless of their dark, low light, dark light, dark vision, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Basically, he's coming close enough that everybody can see him, no matter what. But once he's within view range, he kind of stops for a moment, holds out his lantern. And you can see that he is wearing this large black cloak. Covers him from shoulder all the way down. It is one of those ones where it's open, so you can see his outfit underneath, which is basically just black leather kind of armor. You can see that he does have a sword on his right side because he's left-handed. So he does. You can see he does have a sword on his right on his right side, but of course, who wouldn't carry be carrying a weapon in a world like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as his face, you can't see too much of it. The hood of his cloak kind of covers his eyes and things, but you can see that he has I don't want to say normal skin color. He's white. He's
Caucasian.
not colored. I'm not quite sure what the I'm not quite sure what the term would be. I'm white. I don't think about that.
I'd say light skin.
Caucasian.
Yeah, light skin,
Well, the
Caucasian.
Caucasus don't exist in this world, don't they?
I mean, even regardless,
Semantics aside.
Yeah, semantics aside, it's light skin. I didn't want to say white skin because white
fair
skin,
tone.
might make him sound ghastly, But yeah, fair skin tone would be a good way of putting it, I think. But you can see that he has a fair skin tone. He has a bit of a beard, though it seems that he keeps it well trimmed. He speaks up in his loud, bellowy voice and says, "You wouldn't mind if a fellow adventurer came to join you for just a few minutes, would you? Just to sit down and eat and get a little warmth by the fire before I continue my journey?"
Well, if we're gonna be all friendly, you mind taking off your hood?
He grabs he grabs his hood and pulls it back. His hair is, I would say, about shoulder length. It is deep, dark, practically black. He has green eyes. And his face is as big as his body, if you will. You know, he's a very large, bulky man.
Guts.
Hmm?
Guts.
Guts.
Kona leans
Oh
back
yeah,
towards
yeah,
the group like,
yeah. From Berserk.
anybody have any objections?
I've got plenty of stag, I think.
Fine, but he's not allowed in.
Are you a leg or a thigh guy?
And just about anything's good with me. I'm not too picky. Spend most of my days eating rations anyhow.
I'll pull up a rock then.
Well, isn't it stag? Or not stag, but deer. It's gonna taste real gamey.
That's the way I like it.
Right.
And I only cook medium rare.
At your
Objections?
notion of, pull up a rock, he actually takes a few steps back and legitimately picks up a rock from, from off, to the side of your camp. Steps up towards, the fire a bit and just kind of sets this large rock down. He seemed to have...
Kona grins at that.
Yeah, he seemed to have zero, issues carrying this rock. He picked that thing up like he was lifting paper kind of thing, So... he takes a... he takes a very sharp, drop sit onto the rock. And you hear a very loud thud as his butt hits the rock. He smirks, slaps his knees, and says, all right then. Lay it on me. What you got?
Yeah, I hand him a nice juicy thing
piece
of deer
meat.
Yeah, medium rare.
Medium
The
rare.
rump.
So it's
What cut of it is it?
Actually, let's
Is
go
it-
with.
Is it the haunches? Is it
Okay, let me pull up a deer meat.
Is it rib?
Meat cuts, venison chart. Let's see, we got loin, back chop, tenderloin, rump, leg, shank, flank, shank, shoulder, ribs, neck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm gonna roll a D10,
Okay.
and we will see.
Neck, shoulder, leg, shank.
6. So I got flank.
Blank.
He gets a flank.
Gets blank.
He gets a flank cut.
Alrighty.
That's real meaty.
A real meaty, yeah.
Yeah, flank is good for soup, sausage, stew, burgers, and jerky. Which actually, flank is my preferred cut of meat on cows. I love flank steak.
Cool.
No fat. Very little fat.
I am more or less vegetarian, so like I'm not vegetarian, but I just don't like meat.
Are you
Red meat?
pescatarian?
Hmm?
I was asking, are you pescatarian?
Pescatarian? I don't even
Means
know
you
what
only
that-
eat fish.
eat fish. Oh, I don't eat fish at all.
Yeah.
So,
For shame.
like, I'll eat chicken sometimes, and like I'll buy like the lunch meats of like chicken and turkey, but I won't actually eat like turkey. I don't like beef at all. So I don't know. I don't.
This doesn't
I
agree
just
with
don't
you, I
like.
guess?
It's something about the texture. It's probably some level of my autism mixed with the texture.
Yeah,
I
no,
just
that
don't
makes
like
sense.
it. So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah.
I'm not going to judge you for it.
All I know
But-
is when I take a bite of meat, I sit there and feel like I am eating dirt. So I don't like it.
I gotta say, that's unfortunate.
That is very
Uh,
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Right.
Very
I'll say
unfortunate.
I'm the opposite. I love beef
Love
because
Nice.
the
Nice.
texture
What's for dinner?
and the
It is.
Right.
well, equine, not a bovine. Different.
In my case, I kind of rely on red meat for good health
Good health.
Iron.
because I need the iron and I can't eat dark greens. My body doesn't digest them.
That makes sense.
That sucks.
I take an iron supplement because I do not eat healthy to begin with. So, in either case, the guy takes that meat and he just starts like barbarian style like chowing down. Like,
Jesus.
Like he
So
is
while they're-
voracious with this piece of meat.
While they're prepping and sharing the meat and he's wolfing it down, Conan's going to finish carving the last runes into Krokun's skull and test it out.
Okay.
And asking how things are going to go with this guy, which only she would know the answer. So.
Okay.
In the meantime, Don's just gonna come out the wagon and hand like a list. Okay, I've done inventory. All right, I've done your inventory for you. Thank you very much. All right, okay then. Now who's the new guy?
Me?
No,
Or-
I know you. The one who's eating that leg like it's who's eating that. God, can't even speak properly. Who's eating that leg like it's his last meal?
Oh, I don't know about him.
He looked.
He just got here.
He
Fellow
looks- yeah, he looks up from the meat. Gives himself a nice big gulp. Gulp. Gulp down the food in his mouth, kind of thing. Let's see. Okay. I understand that. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. But he looks up from his meat, kind of, gulps down what's in his mouth, and with a big hearty grin and bellow, he says, good to meet you. You don't have to worry too much about me. I'm only here for a little while. I don't usually give out my name. Most people simply know me as the Wanderer.
So what brings you this way?
He says... He responds by saying, honestly, wandering. Ha ha!
Solid answer.
Yeah.
If you want the longer version, simply put, I wander this world. I have been doing so for longer than I care to even count. I simply happened to be wandering along this way when I happened to notice all of you. Unfortunately, I happened to notice all of you just as you went into the pass, and so I wasn't able to speak with you until now. I've only been maybe a minute or two behind you in step.
Well, we're on our way to Agrinia. You headed that way?
Let's see. Sorry, I was looking at something there. The wanderer shakes his head and says, my plans are to actually start wandering to the north of here. There's a desert not too far away from here, and I plan to make it my next... I plan to make it the next leg of my journey.
And why the hell are you going through a desert?
He chuckles a little bit and says, if I were to explain things, we would be here for far too long. I feel as though you would all get bored of my story. Still, if you're looking to learn anything about Agrinia, I do know a few things.
Sure.
Right.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, by all means, share. We don't know too much about it.
He says, Agrinia is a small village. One of a few villages that remain after the fall of a vast empire some few centuries ago. Because of this, because they were part of this empire, they still worship the same gods. I'm not sure if you're familiar with their pantheon, but some of their gods are those such as Enki, their god of creation, along with the great king Gilgamesh. Let's see, is religion a thing? Because if religion is a thing, people could roll that if you want to.
It
I don't
is.
remember.
Yeah.
It is.
Cool. 3.
Cal doesn't know much.
Cal doesn't care
He's not
about
religious.
gods.
Yep. He literally doesn't.
He literally doesn't. Kona got good on religion check though, so that's good. 25.
He's tech reliant.
Scarcron, not so much with an 11.
Yeah, he's a secular doctor, so.
Yeah. don't show
Gods
that
have no
much
place in
interest in
society.
their religious, which is fine. So Kona, the name of the pantheon escapes you. Definitely not because I only discovered 5 minutes before the session that I didn't create a pantheon and a name them for that. However, you are familiar with several of their gods. As I said, pre-stream, stream/podcast. It's all based around like the Mesopotamian gods. So again, Enki, Enkidu, Gilgamesh,
Good old Greg.
Anu, Enlil. I'm looking at a list right now because I don't know any of these by name.
Don't hear about those guys very often.
Inanna, Nana, Utu. But so there was a great empire. An empire that spanned a good portion of this area of the world centuries ago. We're talking possibly even millennia ago. They were considered to be one of the greatest, nowhere near as powerful as the Ulnathan. There has never been an empire even remotely as powerful as the Ulnathan. But they were considered one of the greatest empires of their day. And unfortunately, they met some sort of cataclysmic end that was never really recorded in history. After this cataclysm occurred, their people spread out and just began making their own like little villages and towns. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of a bad rep in that wherever these people seem to go, trouble follows. Some people believe that it has something to do with the cataclysm and that maybe their people are cursed. But their villages never really get much. They usually get to like town level, but they usually fail and like crumble before they can evolve into a true like city. So that's what you would know about them. So
some people are just real unlucky.
Right. The Wanderer speaks up and says, the people of Agrinia are led by their current leader, the King Lubao, and his daughter, the Princess Aruru. He says, Agrinia has seen better days. A great darkness seems to have taken hold of Agrinia within the last, I would say, 3, perhaps even 4 weeks. Nobody knows what has taken the city. Nobody knows what has happened or what this great darkness is. Just that some great darkness hangs over the city, and it has caused nothing but grief for the people since.
You know what kind of effect it has on the people?
Well, actually, Cassandra will speak up on that one and say, it's almost this sort of memory loss. It's not like true memory loss. It's not like people are just forgetting everything. But they'll be going about their day and they'll like turn to talk to somebody, but then that person's not there. And then they try to remember who the person was, and they can't remember. And so they're not entirely sure if the person was even there to begin with, or if this gloomy state of darkness has just caused people to start imagining other people.
They're constantly forgetting.
Huh. Well, that certainly seems wild. So we've got rampant amnesia, rampant short-term amnesia or some shit.
Can I use my anatomy lore to try and think out what's going on with what he's described?
Sure. We'll see what comes up with your roll. Ooh, 31. Okay. Well, you're pretty sure that it's non-natural. From everything that you've studied in your term of learning, doctoralship, I don't even think that's the right word, but whatever. In your practicing of medicine and whatnot, you've never encountered any natural thing that would cause somebody to, suddenly imagine a person, or even, forget that, a person existed or anything like that. So it definitely doesn't sound natural. You're pretty sure that there's some magical effect. Maybe, perhaps something necromantic, perhaps something demonic.
That's when Scarcon realizes that he's gonna, nudge Kona with an elbow, signaling to her that it's not in his purview.
Right.
Maybe she has an idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. Well, it could be a curse.
Hmm?
Kona's gonna do esoteric lore.
I was just gonna say this would be a great esoteric lore roll. So.
Yep.
Out of character. Seems a little soft. I've heard horror stories about this.
Yes. $26. All right. You've heard of a number of curses, a number of stories of things like memory manipulation, the curses that can do it, magical effects that aren't curses that can do it. It could be something that you're aware of, alchemical things that it could be. So it could be something's in the water, Unfortunately, there is a great number of things that you can think of that it could be, that you can't really narrow it down without actually, experiencing it for yourself.
All right, too many variables. I'm gonna have to see someone affected by it.
Right.
I'm gonna have to have a subject to observe. Then I can probably narrow it down.
Right.
Well, looks like we're headed that way anyhow.
The wanderer just kind of gives you a smirk. You know, just generally looking cheerful. Not like maliciously, just he's having a great old time kind of thing, you know. Let's see. Before I go anywhere else with that, why don't we, Cal, if you could make
Yes.
a will save for me.
A will save. All right.
Yes.
I will make it happen. Will.
$19. Okay.
Ooh.
And this is gonna sound weird
I rolled
because yeah, you rolled low. This is gonna sound weird because I did ask for a will save and I did mean a will save. But you feel almost like a biting cold wind on your body for a moment. It's only for a second, and just after you feel it, the wanderer suddenly stands to his feet and speaks up in his loud voice and says, "Well, it is time for me to get moving on. I thank all of you for your hospitality, but unfortunately I must be going."
Oh, you're about to wander off?
Yes, it is time for me to continue my wandering. It would not do well for me to stay for much longer, after all.
I can't help but wonder where you're going to wander.
Well, you know what they say: hit the road, don't let the road hit you.
So to Don, he chuckles and says, "I shall wander to the desert." And he like points his like he does the big like finger point thing, like makes this grand gesture of it, and then he leaves.
What do I do, dude? Cal's going to stand up, and he's gonna. He has half a mind to follow him because of that sensation that he had.
Okay.
Something did not feel right for him to have that sensation, and then all of a sudden,
Hey, what's up, Cal?
I had it was a cold sensation, like I was in the middle of a blizzard for a split second. And as soon as that sensation ended, he gets up and leaves. Something's off. I'm going to follow him, if you will permit me.
Well, between us, I did my augury on him, and I didn't get any warnings, so...
Just something feels off.
Hey,
Shows up out of nowhere, eats, then leaves.
For all we know, he could. For all we know, he could be an avatar of where the hell is making people forget their memories.
Maybe. And did he actually point toward the desert or point somewhere else?
Yes, he
turned
to the north and did a grand gesture of pointing towards the north, which is where he then immediately started walking. So
Well,
The desert, by the way, is not on the map. It's way far north, so.
I mean, how far do you want to follow him?
He's gonna follow him for a little while. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it?
Do you want to make like a stealth check?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead and give me
no active encounter.
old stealth check.
Wait, never mind.
Hmm?
I accidentally hit it. Okay.
Do you have
There-
any
there
objections
it
to
is, there it
Kona
is.
joining you? She's pretty sneaky.
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if Kona wants to join, Kona can do a stealth check too, so. 31 and 26. Cool. Alright.
And since Cal's got a gun, he has a scope that he can use to follow from somewhat afar.
Kona has
Right.
turned off her lantern, of course, for sneaking.
Right.
Good idea. And Cal's got his scales, unseen scales.
You follow for a little while. I assume a few minutes kind of thing.
Something like that. Maybe 5, 10.
Right. You follow him, for a few minutes. After following behind, despite the fact that both of you were being so quiet and doing like a super good, like those were great checks. I just want to clarify.
Oh, well, thank you.
Like those are great checks. Those were very high numbers.
But they weren't good enough, were they?
So when I say that he stops in his tracks and you hear his voice boom out and as he says, "You really don't want to follow me. If you did, I'm afraid that the reason for my wandering will become known to you, and that will not be a very pleasant experience for either of you. I do not mean to sound threatening. It is not I that would do you harm. If I were you, I would turn back."
Quickly, is it nighttime or getting close?
Yes, it's been
And
it's
are we
been
getting-
nighttime.
Perchance, is it a full moon night?
I was thinking the same thing.
Let's see. It is a new moon night, actually.
A new moon. So not a werewolf. Is there anything that happens on a new moon?
Kona would probably do it best with
I was
esoteric.
just about to do esoteric lore.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
getting curious.
So, yeah, she can do an esoteric. 25?
It's not great.
That's not great.
Something.
So, there are not very many things that involve, there aren't that many things that occur during new moons. Specifically, one of the big things is that there are 3 moons. You gotta think about that. There's 3 moons. To have a truly new moon experience, all 3 moons have to be turned, like the dark sides have to be turned. It has to be dark on all 3 moons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are a number of things that can occur based on the combinations of the moons. The rarest things are usually when all three are full moons or all three are new moons. Tonight would be one of those. All three are a new moon things.
Ooh.
So Mavros, the red moon, Fengari, the green moon, I think it is, and Lefko, the white moon. I always forget what color Fengari. They're not actually those colors, but they're those are the names of the moons.
So red, white, and green.
Red, white, and green. Yeah, you've got Mavros. Which I know Mavros is red because red is supposed to be like evil. Lefko, I'm pretty sure because they were. What I think I remember looking up like the words, in like Greek or something, and that's why I got like Mavros, Fengari, and Lefko. And like Lefko meant like light. And I don't remember what Fengari immediately meant. I can look it up. It's not that hard. I just gotta remember the spot where it would be where they would be listed. Blue Moon. Oh, wow! I had them backwards as well. Apparently, I only remembered Mavros. So it's Fengari is the white moon, Lefko is the blue moon, and Mavros is the red moon.
Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue.
America.
That's not why I picked them, to be clear. I picked them as divine, primal, and arcane. So, cause the three moons are supposed to represent the like different magics, and then you had the fourth moon, Xenos, which doesn't exist anymore at this time.
Xenos.
And I'm guessing that one would have been a cult.
Yes, the Xenos, which was also referred to as the mysterious moon, was generally considered the occult moon because it would appear and disappear randomly. It wasn't it's a full moon, it's a new moon, like literally it would just not exist in the sky. And then like the next night, it's there, It
was time slipping. He was doing a Loki.
But I'm
so happy I know that reference.
This popping in and out where it would like appear in the sky for like a week and then disappear completely for like a month and then like appear for 2 days. It became known as the mysterious moon, and Xenos, I believe, was like Greek or something for mystery or mysterious, something like that. So, just fun little info.
Does it still pop in and out, or did it just like stop doing that entirely?
At the end of the first age, Yogg-Sothoth, as he was being sealed away, reached up with his tentacles, grabbed Xenos, and attempted to pull it down onto the planet. And instead it broke apart and now forms rings around the planet.
Okay. He reached for the moon.
So, he literally reached for the moon.
Literally reached for the moon.
But that's the legend, is that during the sealing of Yogg-Sothoth, in an attempt to prevent himself from being sealed, he attempted to bring the moon down and kill his enemies. And when he grabbed Xenos, instead of pulling it down, the moon just crumbled in his tentacle. And the burst of rock eventually just got caught in gravity and eventually formed some pretty little rings around the planet.
I'm glad this world did not have to go through a Dalamud situation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But as to our situations, Kona's gonna like quietly murmur, "Yeah, we should probably leave him alone. We're not.
I don't want to, but probably
We don't want to get into a fight with
right.
just the two of us."
Right. He's probably way above our pay grade. But yeah, Cal is going to turn and leave, but he is going to do so with his scope still on the Wanderer.
Okay.
Quietly slipping back towards camp.
Quietly slipping backwards. You actually see as the Wanderer turns, smiles, and kind of waves as you make your way back. So.
And Cal's going to murmur under his breath, I have a feeling we're going to see you again.
Whether we want to or not.
Hmm?
Yeah.
I mean, I won't say one way or the other, but...
Spoilers!
Yeah, it would be spoilers. If the answer was no, and I said no, it would technically still be spoilers, so... So I won't say one way or the other, because spoilers, if he does, if I said yes, and then he did, spoilers. If I said no, and he didn't, spoilers. But also, I don't want to lie, so I'm just not going to say either way.
My favorite answer to it is,
would you tell me if I gave you a
Don't
piece of
worry
candy?
this is a don't worry about it
Yeah,
moment.
just don't worry about it. If it's important, you'll find out later. All right. Well, you do eventually return to the group. Kona,
Yes.
if you could make a will save on the way back.
Oh.
Alrighty. Where is it? There we go. We'll save.
We'll save. Nice.
Chess, you're ping. Oh my god.
Chess's
Yeah.
ping. Chess's ping is showing as almost 800 right at the moment.
Jesus.
Good grief.
I know mine's sometimes quite high, but wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen Chess's go pretty high, unfortunately. So on the way back, you're walking along, and you almost feel like for just like a half of a second, you like walk through this space of severe cold. But it's only for a second.
A lot like. So it's a lot like what Cal described.
Right. It's exactly as Cal described, so. And again, I know that it sounds weird that I'm describing it as, like, you feel this cold sensation, and then I'm saying will instead of, like, fortitude, but I swear it makes sense if you actually knew what was going on.
It's like
It's
a
a
chill down your
soul
neck. Like,
level.
I just felt a cold sensation too. Huh.
you did. What is going on?
I'm not gonna share my theories until after stream.
Okay, that's fine. By all means, theorize. I love the idea of all of you theorizing. So.
Is this anything occultism could give me an insight into?
You could try an occultism check.
What about an occultism or maybe...
Because occultism covers all the really weird shit, and this
Right.
feels like
Yeah.
weird shit. So.
Right.
Yeah. Cal's gonna try an occultism as well. He's going to
Oh,
kind of
that's terrible.
Oh, 18. That's what? Is that a roll?
Oh,
that's a 2
We had the
on the
same
die.
roll. We both rolled a
Oh my god, you both rolled a 2 on the die.
Inspiration point.
What?
Can I use one of my? Can I
You're
use
not
my
here.
inspiration point to
You're not here.
I
for
mean,
one of them to reroll?
you wouldn't be able to use yours, but I mean, they do all. Everybody does have 1 hero point right now because it's
Do we
start
wanna
of
use a
new
hero point?
session. That's up to you. If you want to use it now, or if you would rather prefer to save it for something
Combat?
that might be worse. Yeah.
I'm gonna save it because I probably could get another roll if I get more information.
Right.
Like I'm putting pieces of the puzzle together, but I don't have enough clues to go on yet. So.
Right. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I have no problems with it. If you want to use your hero points, feel free. It's just
Yeah, Cal.
the two.
Yeah,
Only the
I'll
two
go
of you
ahead
can
and
do
use
it.
mine. So Cal's going to take a moment, breathe in, breathe deeply, and he's going to concentrate on the stars as he's been having these dreams as of late, where
Mhm.
he's like dropped off in the Jurassic period,
Hmm.
and so these dreams are like guiding him somewhere, guiding him where he does not know, but he's starting to look into his newborn heritage.
Okay.
So he's
Sure.
going to do one more occultism. 21, better.
21 is better.
Definitely better.
Let's see. What would you know? In the amongst the underground, in the smaller sects of the occultic practices, there are stories of a man that nobody knows the name of. It is said that this man once angered the great Baba Yaga. And when he did, the Baba Yaga decided that out of all of the curses she could use, this particular man deserved the worst. The curse was that his name would be forgotten, and that he would become immortal, but his name would never be uttered by anyone. Not even he could utter it. And his name would be forgotten. To ensure that nobody could utter his name, and to ensure that he could not utter his own name, a darkness follows. If his name is uttered by anyone, it will break the curse. However, if he stays anywhere long enough for somebody to begin to learn his name, great tragedies occur. Like, terrible things. Like,
Yeah.
if let's say he walked into Eritani, by the next morning, if he was still there, the entire city would not exist anymore.
Jeez.
That kind of terrible. So, whether this is that person, you don't know. But the feeling of this cold presence that almost seemed to be following, he sat down and he was there with you, and then you started to feel that presence and he immediately left. As you're then coming back, going backwards, basically, you pass through this space where it almost feels like there's something there behind him. So it could possibly be, but you're not sure.
Perhaps there was an entity?
Yes. Perhaps there was a physical creature there.
So now that as I assume Cal and Kona are talking about this.
Yeah, Cal would be, as he looks upon the stars, he would be recounting this tale.
Right.
So now that she knows it's a curse, and that it could be an entity, can she make another esoteric lore check?
Sure.
Yay for lore!
Yay for lore.
Can I be counted as having help on this check?
Sure.
Yeah.
Cal's
there.
Yeah, because Cal's basically given you some help with what he's told you, so yeah. I can see that.
Thank the ancestors. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Well, don't thank me. Thank the stars.
Thanks, stars.
Ooh,
nice. 30.
Nice.
So yes, there is a curse that does exactly as Cal basically explained, where a physical entity of darkness follows behind, and anytime a person gets close to breaking their curse, that entity will do everything and anything to prevent that curse from being broken.
It's the witness.
Now that is one cursed dude.
So,
yeah, I can see why he left in a hurry, because he probably didn't want us to undergo the wrath of this entity.
As for what the entity itself is, unfortunately, nobody really knows. It goes by many names, like Night Gaunt is one that people tend to toss around. Yeah. Night Gaunt, though, also generally tends to be this term that means, there's something evil and mysterious and we don't know what it is, so we're just going to call it a Night Gaunt.
Why do I get the distinct feeling that's something we're going to have to deal with in the near future?
So.
Interesting. I type in Night Gaunt into Google and it brings up dentistry stuff.
That's really funny.
I mean, what they say, there are no accidents, right?
Night Gaunt. And, I guess it depends on how you're typing it in, because I typed it in and the first thing I get is H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, I was doing Guant.
Yeah. I let's see. I did Night Gaunt. N-I-G-H-T.
Oh, yeah.
G-A-U-N-T.
Shoot, the thing looks like I'm seeing some depictions, and it kind of reminds me of that black demon entity from Disney's Fantasia.
Trinabog.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh yeah. Night gaunts are nasty. There are actual night gaunts in Pathfinder.
Imagine playing as one if you could.
But when I use Night Gaunt, it's more of a reference to the Quest for Glory games. And more specifically, the first Quest for Glory game is where they're actually mentioned. But basically, there was a mechanic in the first Quest for Glory game where they didn't want you to just sleep anywhere. So if you tried to sleep at night in, like, the wilderness, you would get a game over screen that says, the Night Gaunts got you. So. But they never tell you what it is, and you never see a Night Gaunt. You see several monsters during the night, but none of them are a Night Gaunt. So whether a Night Gaunt was something specific or not was never actually stated. It was more just this term of... It always just more felt like this term of something really nasty in the night that we don't know, so we're just going to call it this, you know? And so that's how I use the term Night Gaunt.
Gotcha.
So...
This is interesting.
So when we get back, Conan would probably explain to the rest of the group that the guy is cursed and haunted by a very dangerous shadow.
Yeah. If we see him again, let's not go near him.
So that's what took you chuckle fucks so long.
I get the feeling if we see him again, being near him won't be a choice.
True. If we do, let's hope that he's only around for a little while.
Indeed.
I know I say that I like to hunt big game, but sometimes
Well, you know, fate's a
there's
tricky
a limit.
fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's hunting big game, and then there's being hunted by big game.
Yes. I do not enjoy becoming the hunted.
Everyone does sooner or later.
I'm working towards, that not being the case for me.
Oh, you want to live forever, tough guy?
No, I would just prefer to die of old age.
Right.
Either that or live
Yeah,
long
but
enough where they can take my
That's
soul.
the ultimate big game coming after you.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
You
The
talk
ultimate
big
big
for
game.
being a little chicken nugget. Or should I say
Hey.
rat nugget?
Look, us rat folk don't live to be as old as any of y'all. I'm
you
about
make.
halfway done with this life.
Well, before you expire, I have the recipe for a really nice and juicy rat burger.
Oh, you don't have to even tell me. I know all of the juiciest, most scrumptious rat.
Okay, you're gonna talk about eating his ass later.
And for those who wonder, the rat burgers from the very fun movie, I think from the 80s or 90s. It featured Sylvester Stallone, I think, and Sandra Bullock.
Oh, was that the one about the creepy, polite future?
Yes.
Wait,
Yeah, and Wesley Snipes was the bad guy.
Yeah.
the one with the seashells?
Yeah, the seashells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that. What was it called? Demolition Man.
Yes.
That's it.
Demolition Man.
Such a good movie.
So 20 experience to your group for encountering the Wanderer,
Yay.
which should put you at 20 experience.
Yep.
Yep.
Before we continue on, does your group want to do anything further during this night, or are you ready, to continue onward?
Well, dinner has been served, so I'm good to move on.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing any objections, so.
Yeah.
Nope.
And if Cal's gonna tinker with his weapon a little bit, he needs an actual town
Right.
to be in,
Right.
because he still wants to make a flamethrower,
Right.
and he will want the rat guy's help.
So you spend.
Well, I mean, my expertise is more alchemical items and
It is an alchemical item.
bodies.
Right.
A flamethrower is an alchemical item.
Hmm.
It's called an alchemist flamethrower.
There's a difference between a flamethrower and alchemist flamethrower. And in most fantasy settings, a flamethrower is usually a magic weapon.
Right. Well, no, what he's saying is that the thing he's trying to do is an item called Alchemist Flamethrower in Pathfinder.
And he's going to turn it into an attachment to his gun. That way he literally has an underbarrel flamethrower attachment.
Right.
Would I
Well, then you're just Ripley.
would I be able
No,
to
it's Vladov.
in the time that it takes to attach it to his gun, possibly acquire the recipe to craft it? With a craft check?
You wouldn't be able to do it now because you don't know how to, but you might be able to get info on it or something in the city. So, in Agrinia.
Hard.
So, all right. Well, with that, your group hangs out and does your thing, sleeping mostly, for the throughout the night. You make the remaining the next 3 days are spent journeying to Agrinia. And in the dawn of the final day of your journey, you come to the you come to a hill overlooking the village. Though the village itself looks... I had all of this in my head last night. I'm trying to remember how I worded it. I was like, yeah, this is a great description. Though there is no storm, though there is no darkness, Though the buildings seem to be in good shape and not in any disrepair, looking out to the village of Agrinia, you feel like you see a dark, heavy gloom over the village.
So it literally has a dark vibe.
Yeah, it feels bad. It feels dark. There's nothing physically that is dark about it. It just feels bad, if you will.
Feels bad, man.
Feels bad.
This city failed its vibe check.
Yeah, it failed its vibe check.
Freaking thank you. Freaking Foundry.
It's like whenever you look into the Detroit suburbs.
Right?
Yeah.
It just feels like disappointment.
Either that or Kensington, Pennsylvania. For those who are wondering, Kensington, Pennsylvania has some parts of it that are extremely rampant in drug use and homelessness.
Goody.
Yeah. It's bad. Like, there's people out there in the middle of the street just overdosing.
Oof.
It's scary as shit.
Right. I can definitely see that.
Fentanyl, meth, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking our fentanyl.
Yep.
I shouldn't be joking.
But as you look out on Agrinia, the whole village just seems it gives you the willies. It just doesn't feel right. You know, you don't even have to be in the village yet, and you're already feeling like something's wrong.
Yeah,
Your
Cal's gonna
brain
be on
is starting
guard.
to work overtime trying to figure out what, but then nothing is coming to you.
Boy,
Yeah.
does this place feel cursed.
Cal's gonna be on guard. And what's the primary color of this place?
Most of the buildings are simple wood structures with thatch roofs. I don't know that there's a particular like color that's like dominant.
No, he's going to. Cal's going to do kind of take a moment and start to alter his scales to where he can blend in more with his surroundings.
Okay, yeah. There's a number of things that you could, probably easily blend into.
Yeah.
Bisecting the village is a river, roughly about the center of the village. There is a bridge that crosses it. You can see a few, areas of farmland. You can see several buildings. And all in all, it beyond this feeling of dread, it feels like a normal everyday village. You can see villagers moving around and about, doing their daily tasks, living as if nothing is wrong. Since the moment that you grew close, though, anybody who might happen to be paying any attention to Cassandra, would notice that her hand has moved down and she is like gripping her katana as if she's ready to like fight at any moment.
Easy, girl.
She may have the right of it. Just, Cal's got his weapon at the ready.
Cassandra,
You never know.
yeah, Cassandra will say, "You haven't lived here the last few weeks since this darkness took hold. Even though there's nothing there, it feels like there is."
The people here seem strangely calm about all this.
Too calm.
Or we can't certainly just go swinging in like a bunch of murder hobos.
True enough. True enough.
Yes, and despite how much talk I prefer to keep people alive rather than kill them.
Just a
Well,
little
good
bit.
thing I just got this pacifying sword. Maybe it'll come in handy. I'm going to miss having my own music theme, though. That makes me sad.
You had a music theme?
Yeah, my old sword played music.
Mhm.
Oh,
You
damn.
mean the sword that's still sitting in my bag?
Yeah, I put it in the bag of holding,
Mhm.
along with all the rest of our collection of weapons.
Right.
Knickknacks.
Also, I suppose
And
Right.
ammunition.
down here,
Like-
since you're coming in through the road here.
I feel like with this amount of stuff that we have in our bag of holding, we could literally turn that into a grenade.
No.
I have heard a story about an adventuring party, like a D&D group that hoarded like everything and just like kept throwing stuff into their bag of holding. And the DM threw this encounter of like basically endless monsters that was like chasing them, and they were like trying to like run up a staircase. And the wizard goes, "Idea!" Pulls out the bag of holding, opens it, flips it upside down, and just everything comes out into a giant avalanche. I'm like,
Nice.
that's how you do it. If you're
Yeah,
gonna hoard,
That's the
that's
way.
how you do it.
Yeah, if you turn a bag of holding inside out, it gets explosive.
Yes. Yep.
That's why you get ball bearings and cast glyph of warding on it. On each individual one, and put like millions of glyphs of warding.
Right.
Sporks, spoons, forks, knives.
No, ball bearings with glyphs of warding.
Well, your party
Or cannonballs.
your party does make their way down into the village. You arrive, just on the road path here. Roughly about, I would say, just slightly before noon. You made it to the hill about like 9 a.m. Now it's like 10:30. It wasn't too much farther away, kind of thing. So, you can see that there is one building that is much larger than all of the others. down here, on like the southern side. It's much larger and it looks much more noble. It's made out of brick instead of being made out of like wood and thatch.
Must be the town hall.
So, let's see. Oh, that's right. You have to like make a thing before you can like type in it or something. Or I don't remember how to do town. Like, does that work? Yeah, sure. There we go. There, I've added a marker. But yes, town hall. I don't know if I can like make that easier to see because it's a little. Use a lower saturation. There we go. Yeah, that looks better.
Yeah. So do we want to try and get information?
Might as well. Never hurts to know, to have knowledge about your enemy or whatever you're going up against.
Assuming they can tell us anything.
Right.
Their obliviousness does not encourage me.
Maybe they're oblivious by choice. Maybe they just don't
Scarcon's
want
going
to tell.
to walk up to one and clear his throat. Yeah, walk up to a villager, clear his throat.
Okay. I mean, the villager will stop and look up at you.
Down.
Down. True.
He's 3 foot.
Down. He'll stop. He'll turn. He'll look confused, and then his eyes kind of turn downward, and then his head follows.
Yeah. Hi. I'm you'll have to suspend your disbelief for a moment. I'm a trained doctor. So, I would like to discuss the symptoms the village has undergone. Have you experienced these? You know, the confusion, the loss of memory. Have you experienced this?
The villager stares at you for a moment in great confusion. But then, after a moment, he speaks up and goes, You know, there is something a little odd, I suppose. You see, this morning when I woke up and I got out of my bed like I would normally do. I walked over to my closet to get out today's clothes, and, well, it was the darndest thing. It wasn't just my clothes that was in that closet. But I tell you, I hadn't. Sorry, that's not actually what he's saying. That's me, like, not getting the word out.
You're good.
He goes, it's the darndest thing, because I've never lived with anyone all my life that I can recall. But, like, there was clothes that wasn't mine. Not just in the closet either. I started looking around the house. I looked into some of my dirty laundry, and sure enough, some of them clothes was in there too. It don't make a lick of sense to me.
Are you sure you're not married?
He looks down at his hands, and it even kind of holds his hands out and says, if I was married, I feel like I'd have a ring. I don't got no
Did you
ring.
forget to put it on? Usually don't sleep with a ring on.
Would you mind if we had a look at these clothes?
Let's see.
Maybe we can help you figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Excuse me. Let me see here.
Ooh, we should ask the question that all DMs fear.
Okay.
What's your name?
What's your name? His name is Enlil Bani. I'm sure I probably said that wrong, but Enlil Bani.
Cal is just going to call him Bunny for short.
Enlil Bani probably is how it's actually meant to be said, but yeah.
Yeah, Cal just can't get the image of a little bunny rabbit out of his head now.
That's funny. Well, would you care? Let's see. Whichever one of you specifically asked if you could look at the clothes. Would you like to make a society?
Society.
Oh,
because that's the
boy.
that's the equivalent of persuasion.
Does any of us have society?
I'll roll it, but this is not going to work.
I was gonna say somebody should, because we've got everybody's got something here.
Would I be able to use diplomacy if this goes awry?
Yeah, probably. But that was... Oh, no, that was Don rolled it. Okay. Kona rolled an 11. So, yeah, that did not go well. So, Kona asked, can we look at the clothes? And he just kind of, stares in confusion, why is this Noel asking to look at clothes? First off, why is he has two expressions on his face. One is why is there a Noel here? The other is why are they asking to look at my clothes? But yes, if Skarkron wants to attempt a diplomacy, you are absolutely free to try that.
Definitely would probably help explain our situation more.
Kona satisfying her secret kink for messing with other people's clothes.
Right.
You know how dogs are. They like to roll in, freshly clean laundry.
I promise you, she didn't mean anything inherently sexual about that. But we were brought here to investigate the source of the confusion.
The land of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
So, diplomacy?
Yes, go ahead and do a diplomacy. Before you... Well, never mind. I already got it. But 30 is great anyway, so I won't worry about it. I was going to give you an extra bonus because of Cassandra and because they know Cassandra. So I was going to have him be him notice Cassandra and then it's like, oh, you're with, Cassandra. Like, he'll still do that, but that was going to actually apply, like, a help action type bonus. But you rolled a 30, so I don't think you need it. Wow, that's a 14 on the die, too. That, like, you could have rolled way higher than that, too. Well, I guess not way higher,
in
just
diplomacy.
6 more. But, so yeah, he looks at you, and as you're starting to speak, Cassandra comes into view. He notices her, while you're talking, she kind of just, like, gives him a wave, like, a gesture that's like, I'm with them, they're with me, something like that. And then he turns back to you and says, well, if you're friends of Cassandra, I mean, I suppose it wouldn't hurt too much. It is strange, and I certainly wouldn't mind getting to the bottom of whatever's going on, if there's something going on. I don't know, everything is just... It's almost like everything is just off somehow. Like, I don't know how to explain. He will lead you to his house. Let's see. Real quick, before I go any further, Kona, your lantern, because you're level 9 now, that does something new, right?
Yeah, she can enhance it as an action.
Okay. I was thinking...
But that's something I have to turn on.
Something you have to turn on? Okay. Okay. Got it. I was thinking that... I thought you had, like, a passive thing from your lantern, so...
I don't think I've gained a new passive yet, but I will double check.
Okay. Let's see. In that case, yeah, like I said, he will lead your group to his house. I don't exactly have house tiles. Plus, also, there's a lot of houses, so it'd be very difficult to make every house unique.
Yeah, we'll just imagine.
Yeah, so you'll just have to kind of imagine. But it's a modest house, It's got a large. It's got a bed that's big enough for multiple people. Despite the fact that he lives alone. He does show you to his closet where the clothes are, and will let you look them over. Let's see. I'm just wondering what exactly... I guess make me just, anybody that wants to can make just kind of a generic perception check. Cat is digging a thunder box very loudly. Whoa!
I think my lantern gives me a +1 on that. Yes, it does.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Like with that big 34. I think that's coming from somewhere. like in my mom's room or something. Just like weird music suddenly started playing. I'm like, what the heck? Let's see. 34, 20, 35, and 24. Good sets of rolls, that's for sure. So, alright. Well, I can definitely tell you that what you find is that you find a set of clothes that are clearly his. But then there is a section of clothes that are dresses and other female garments. I just don't feel like listing out a bunch of different things. But, you know, so you know, there's his clothes, which are, you know, the more manly male style villager clothes, and then there's just like a set of female clothes in the closet.
Now, if you truly do live alone, I won't judge if you have clothes like this.
Well, I can definitely tell you that Leica and Kona's roles would definitely be enough to notice that the female clothes are considerably slimmer. That both of them could confirm that they're pretty sure that he wouldn't even be able to fit into them.
Oh, so
Either
it's
way.
like a daughter, maybe. A daughter, perhaps. A single dad?
Well, no. Just like, because he's, you know, he's like a farmer, so he's kind of like big and bulky. Whereas the woman that these clothes belong to seems to be thinner than he is. Shorter.
Just shorter and slimmer.
Yeah,
Okay.
shorter and
Gotcha.
slimmer, but not child size clothes. So.
Yeah, someone else definitely lived here.
Lived or lives.
But you don't remember.
He says, if someone else lived here, I have no recollection of it.
Can I take a look at what's inside your nightstand?
If you think it would help.
Yeah, Cal's gonna do that. Specifically, he's looking for like a ring. If he just forgot to. Because who knows? Maybe he forgot that he was married.
Alrighty. Give me another perception check to kind of search. Since it really isn't a search. You know, no, there's like an investigation or a search.
Perception.
So, but yeah, you can just make a
30.
perception.
Nice.
Nice, very nice. You begin to search through the nightstand. When you begin to look around at the various, you know, clutter that is in it, you find two things of interest. The first thing that you find is, let's see if I can figure out how to do this.
A winning lottery ticket?
I've got to make a
An all expense paid trip to Disney World?
Okay, hang on. I probably should have done this prior. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to type this quickly. Let's see. Let's see if that works. And then if I show players, all players. Yeah, cool. That worked. Very cool. So you've there are, like I said, there's two things that you find. One of the things that you find is a small ring case that has no ring in it. The other thing you find is that piece of paper that I just did a show players to.
Huh. It's out there. I know it is. I don't know where. Don't know what. No, it's there. I see it in my dreams. It's hungry. It needs to feast.
Indeed.
Well, that seems ominous.
So Kona,
I don't like this. This is. I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I know what this is.
so EB, can I call you EB?
He looks a little confused, but is like, I guess so.
I'm gonna need you to do something for me, and this is gonna help you. So you're gonna have to roll with me on this one. Do you have a place where you can sit down?
Yeah, he can. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of like seats and things like that he could like sit down on. Okay, that's not working the way I want. I was trying to see if I could like now I don't know how to like change it back. There's like a written font. I wanted to use that, but it's like if I use it like the normal size, it's like really tiny. But I don't know how to make it like bigger naturally. So I don't know. Tell me if this is like readable.
Oh, it's very readable. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'll just do that then. Basically, I set it to be a header instead of being standard paragraph like dialogue.
Yeah, it looks more like actually handwritten now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
Hmm.
So when the guy, I assume he does sit down.
Yeah. When you ask him to sit, because there's like seats. I'm not exactly familiar with like medieval house interiors, I'll admit. So I don't exactly know what it would look like, but I'm sure there's some kind of chair, couch, table, something that he could sit down
You'd
at.
usually have like a few chairs around a table.
Right.
So Kona's going to sit down with him and set her lantern on the table in front of him.
Okay.
She's like, okay, so I need you to gaze into the lantern's light.
Alrighty.
This may feel a little weird, just as a warning.
He will look concerned. Would anybody like to roll a diplomacy to try and...
I would like to.
Yeah, I'll let the rat do it.
Convince him that Kona knows what she's doing.
Yeah. To help convince him.
Starcon takes the man's hand in both of his tiny rat hands and nods. You can trust it. You can trust it.
Let's see. Sorry, I was trying to think of a way to... I was trying to think of because the chat is on the right side on the normal screen, I have the map like pulled over, but then it creates just a big like block of black on the corner on like the side on the stream view because the chat isn't there. I was trying to find a way to like make it so that it wouldn't do that, but I don't know how to do that. So, in either case, I won't worry about that for right now. If anybody watching knows how I could like make that, because like the chat is over here on my screen, but like obviously that caused a big black bar there on the stream. Anyway, so the guy, he looks at Skarkron. He looks back at Kona with a bit of confusion. But with enough concern, about what's going on and things like that. He's going to listen for now, and gaze into the lantern.
Okay. So let's see, I need to figure out. Okay, so she is attempting to reveal like the effect on him. So her lantern starts kind of like pulsating slowly, like
Mm-hmm.
And can I try occultism on this?
Sure.
Since this is just another... Since this is a weird effect.
Right.
So I'm going to get a +2 on this. And if I can get a critical success, anytime I have to make a saving throw against whatever's messing with him, I'll get a +1.
Nice.
I'm doing some synergy stuff here. But the main goal, of course, is to figure out exactly what this is.
Right.
Which is what the lantern's helping with.
Right.
To him, it would probably feel like just a little weirdly tingly.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching a fire.
Right.
Okay, so occultism.
Occultism check.
+2 status.
Ooh, 31. Very good, very good.
He's gazing deep into the lantern's light, like shining across his body, like trying to figure out what's going on with him.
Right. All right. Let's see. What is the best way to explain it? What's the best way to say it? Let's see. Is this something like a specific ability that I can like look at like what it does exactly, or is it just kind of you're just making like a check with it?
It's enhancing my occultism, and I'm combining it with a recognized spell.
Okay.
I'm attempting to determine the exact nature of what's messing with him.
Okay. Okay. Got it. I see that. Got it.
The lantern's just giving me a big bonus. And then I'm pairing that with my magical analysis ability.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I see that now. Let's see. The highest level. And you are master in occultism. Okay. And then got it. Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading over the
what all that stuff does.
Yeah, I'm looking over because it's like, you know, you have the ability to like automatically identify things up to like a certain level, but then like also the GM has to do like a secret check pertaining to the spell and how you succeed and what the two roles are determines how like what you get. So I can say that it's I'm trying to think of how to word this. It's not a spell per se. It is a magical effect, but it's not a like magical spell. You are able to recognize what kind of effect it is.
Okay.
But before I can tell you anything, I need Kona to make a will save.
Oh boy. Before I do, question.
Okay?
Was a 31 high enough to count as a critical success? And only you would know that. So
Yeah, only I would know that. And unfortunately, it was not.
okay. So I'm just making a standard will save.
Yes.
Checking to make sure I don't have anything else that it's that. No, does not look like. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's always worth checking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. 23. All right, all right. So, Kona, you recognize what it is you're looking at. You are about to speak up and say exactly what is going on. And then
Before
your
you say
mind goes
more-
completely blank.
Hold on, I was gonna say before you say more, I want to spend a hero point
Okay?
to do a reroll.
Alright. I'll allow it because I didn't initially, like, I heard you starting to speak, but then I didn't realize that that's what you were saying, so go, yeah, you can,
Sorry, I did try to interrupt you.
yeah, you did try to interrupt me, so I'll allow it.
Okay.
So, you may use your hero point.
Attributes will.
Hey, that's much better.
There we go.
There we go. Worth a hero point.
Worth the hero point. Alright. So, disregard what I said before. Because you, as you're looking, as, you know, he's looking into this lantern and you're looking over, you know, what's going on. You recognize that it is a magical effect that is, for better or worse, constantly active. Essentially, what you realize is, again, so it's not a spell, so you don't, I can't just say, like, you recognize this spell, but you recognize that what the effect is a, what would be the right term for this?
So out loud, Kona would be saying, "You know, I thought this would have been some sort of strong spell, but it's passive."
Let's see. I'm trying to think of exactly how to word this. It's a concealing effect. A concealing enchantment, if you will. It conceals the true nature of its very self. If that makes sense?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It basically, the effect that you're seeing is, it is an effect that conceals the very presence of its existence, thereby concealing the memories of anything that would reveal it.
Okay, this might be a huge stretch.
Okay?
But when I'm intensifying my lantern, it can remove the concealed condition.
Okay.
Would that have any effect? Could I attempt it?
Let's see here.
It's under intensify vulnerability under my lantern.
Right. I'm just looking at the... It's more that I have to look at the effect to see...
Okay.
to see, like, how the effect is working. That's been kind of the struggle, right? Is because this isn't natural in Pathfinder, so I'm kind of like figuring
Well, this
out.
isn't your typical magical concealment either.
Right.
It's not like technically hiding a thing, it's hiding a memory.
Right. Let's see. So what I can say is, so you already enhanced the lantern, right? Or are you wondering if you should enhance the lantern?
She was only using the scanning knowledge benefit.
Scanning knowledge? Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna go for the whole like negate everything.
Okay. Let me. Now I actually do need to look at yours just.
She's gonna attempt it anyway, so.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, if it doesn't work, then hey, it was an attempt.
So this is your what? Intensify vulnerability?
Yeah, she's using Intensify on him to see if she can remove the concealment from his mind.
Affects the target.
And yeah, I realize this is a stretch and this is some bullshit, so.
All right. You intensify your lantern to see if you can remove, manipulate, etc., etc.
The whole house does that cool thing where all the shadows disappear.
Right.
The lantern just starts going.
When you do, the guy suddenly jumps back and screams like at the top of his lungs, almost like he's being murdered, kind of scream. Or like he just saw something horrible. And he literally screams at the top of his lungs as he shouts, "It's gonna eat us all!" And then immediately after he says that, his face returns back to normal, as if everything just went back to the way it was before.
It looks like she's straining really hard during this. Like, she's concentrating, like,
right,
and holding onto the lantern, like.
So, one of the reasons I wanted to look was to see how long the effect was, and the effect on the Intensify was 1 round. So essentially, for a 6-second period, you remove this concealment, and that's long enough for him to react and scream, "It's gonna eat us all." And then immediately, as soon as your effect ends, he's back to normal, as if it never happened.
Oh, boy. She looks at the guy and is like, "For the record, I'm sorry."
The guy looks confused as to why he is suddenly on the floor, the chair thrown across the wayside. He apparently does not remember that he, screamed this. Speaking of which, before we do anything else, I'd like the rest of the party to make will saves.
Okay.
23. $28. Nice. And Leica with a 27. Nice, and nice. Kale, you're the only person other than Kona that knows what just happened. The other two have no memory of it.
Ooh.
To both Leica and Skarkron, the guy was sitting in the chair, and then now he's suddenly on the floor with the chair tossed to the wayside. You and Kona are the only two people that know that something
Whoa.
just happened.
What just happened?
What do you mean? You were right here for it.
Yeah.
No.
Did you not see?
No. There's like he was in the. There's a gap in my memory. Like the last 10 seconds are just a blur.
Oh, no.
And yes, that is a JoJo's reference.
It was just like a click. Not for me. It was. Whoa. So
It has a
that's
radius.
what it's like. Okay.
It has a radius, and we're in it.
Huh. But somehow you and I were able to escape
totally.
the.
You know what you did with him?
Yeah.
Do it with me.
Well, you didn't lose much, but sure. We could probably get some answers out of him, but it may be traumatic, and I would have to keep it up for a bit.
If we're in its radius, maybe I can see it. But maybe it's concealing itself from us.
All right, well, just as an experiment, you know the drill. Stare into the lantern, and I'll try to make it go away.
Hey.
So you can fill in that gap.
Right.
Out of character, I have a feeling I know what this is.
I also have a strong feeling of.
Right.
And again,
Okay.
she'll concentrate for an action and try to like.
Oh.
She'll try to like push the obfuscation away.
Push the obfuscation. And I'm hoping to a degree that all of you will know what's going on, but I'm also trusting that all of you are not gonna like take the fact that you know what's going on and metagame on it.
No, I'm not going to spoil.
I'm playing into
So,
it. I like this.
Yeah.
This is right up my alley.
That's why I'm playing it like
Yeah.
an investigation.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Like it just starts pacing.
Let's see.
Oh,
He's.
So
Cal could run like an occultism, like sit down and
No, that's not it.
try to figure this out.
right.
But what was the action to clear the mental fog, the mental obfuscation?
The mental obfuscation.
Clear
It's
the concealment.
something. Yeah, it's a thing that Kona is doing.
Kona's lantern can negate concealment
Right.
on a single entity at a time.
Right. Yeah. Basically, it negates concealment for a single person for a single round. Is what it's doing. And she can use it once per round. So. Let's see. Skarkaron looks into the lantern as you attempt to, or as Kona attempts to break this concealment. I am going to need a will save from Skarkaron. Dang! That's a good old 33. Very nice, very nice.
Very nice.
Natural 20, baby.
That is very, very nice indeed.
yeah.
All right.
I can do that.
So.
Huh, I forgot I could do this.
What do you got?
Let's see. Let's see.
Kona's lantern in your brain, scrubbing away the cobwebs.
Right.
I imagine to get sober the next day, Kona just stares intensely into the light.
Yeah. Instant hangover cure.
Is there a window?
Yes, I'm sure there's
Are you gonna jump out the
at
window?
least one window.
Okay, Lyka's gonna look out the window and try and use the seek action.
Okay.
Because her level 8 feet, soul sight.
Soul sight. Oh.
Just
Oh, you got that. Okay. Spiritual essence in your blood has opened your senses to the world beyond. You gain spirit sense. Spirit sense enables to sense the spirits of creatures, including living creatures, most mindless undead, and haunts within the listed range. You still need to seek to locate an undetected creature. Detect spiritual essence, not physical bodies. It detects spirits projected by spells such as project image. Okay. Yeah, sure. Go. You can do a seek action. Let's see. Scan an area. Let's see. If you seek to search. Let's see. GM does a perception check. Compares the results to the stealth check. Okay. Well, why don't you give me the perception check? I don't really feel like I need to do a secret check to, like, you know. Ooh, 32. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, let's what's the word? What is the word?
Bird.
Bird.
a word out.
As long as the word isn't Damon, I think we're all okay. I don't know if anybody
Matt Damon?
knows what that means, but
I mean, my mind just goes to freaking John Riccatello now. Fuck that guy.
so there used to be an old TV show called Reboot.
Oh, well, I never saw it. I'm aware of it.
In the 4th season, which never got released, like it never aired, but they made like 8 episodes, I think, and then they canceled. But you can like buy like a physical copy of like the show, and it comes with the extra episodes. But in the 4th season, Reboot is a show about like the inside of your computer. The characters are sprites, and there's like digits.
Because it was one of the
pixels.
it was one of the first CGI 3D CGI anime series aside from Beast Wars.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh. I miss Beast Wars.
Well, throughout Reboot, they always had a computer virus. Megabyte was what they named him, but they always had a computer virus that was their like main villain. In the 4th season, they introduced what they called a super virus, and the type of virus she was created for the series. There hasn't ever been one of that type of virus, but it was called a Crohn virus, and basically the idea behind the Crohn virus is she infects everything, and then when she says a word, then everything she has infected counts down until it hits 0, and then it all explodes.
Jeez.
And the word is Damon. And so, basically, it was really funny. It was really interesting because they sort of treated it like a religious thing. Did the I have heard the word, and the word is Damon. That's what the characters would say. And they had people running around I have been saved, I have heard the word. Anyway, the point is that the word was Damon, and when she, who was named Damon, by the way, that was why the word was Damon, when she said the word, everything counted down until it exploded, and then literally she basically infected everything in the entire computer world, in the whole of the internet, if you would, and basically planned to just blow up everything. So as long as the word isn't Damon, I think we're okay. If the word is Damon, we might be in some trouble because literally all of our existence might come to a very abrupt end as the entire internet goes kaput. So that was the joke. So anyway, so let's do this in order. Starting with Skarkaron's will save. So you look. Skarkaron looks into the lantern as Kona does her thing. The mental block on Skarkaron fades as Kona's effect affects him. The memory of that singular moment, of seeing the guy shout that, that you're all gonna, it's gonna eat you all, right? Eat us all.
Yeah.
That memory comes back to you. However, here's the fun bit. You rolled a critical success on your will save from that.
Yeah.
And that comes with perhaps some benefits, if you want to call it that. It might be misery. You begin to hear. You're not entirely sure what you're hearing. You haven't heard this at all up until now, but you have begun to hear a dark, horrible song playing through the air, sung by multiple deep, dark, growly voices.
Can I infer from this experience that we
Sorry about
need
that.
to deafen ourselves?
Sorry, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So what you say after the reboot talk?
I was going over what Skarkaron was experiencing right now.
So I actually have to ask a question along those lines.
Okay.
Skarkron's getting that benefit because of rolling a crit, right?
Right.
Well, Kona's will save was also a crit. Because any success she gets is a crit.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I totally missed that, didn't I?
So
yep,
she would
yep.
also be hearing it.
Oh, yeah. I'll apologize because I did completely miss the on a success you get a crit. So that's my bad. So
It's
yes,
okay.
Kona would absolutely be hearing this as well. In that case.
So the first thing she would actually ask Skarkron is, "Do you hear it?"
Yeah, and you know that those 10 seconds that I apparently missed, they're back.
Kona's lantern dims, and she's like, "Is it still back?"
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say it should be because yes, you did roll a crit. You remember, and you hear.
So permanent success is possible. I think we might be able to fix this guy with a bit more intensive treatment, shall we say?
No. What I think it is, because remember, before we could hear the voices, the creepy howls of whatever we couldn't hear it. We couldn't hear it before at least I couldn't hear it before I succeeded.
Right.
I was so busy concentrating that I didn't even notice it at first. Then when I stopped and relaxed for a moment, I realized I was hearing it.
I think it's related to that, like I spent a little bit of time on a ship, like a siren. You know that legend? But sirens are this far inland, right?
See, that's the reason I want to do a more concentrated treatment on this guy. His reaction says that he saw it.
Plug his ears. Hold on. I'll convince him to plug his ears.
It's to plug his ears.
Skarkon's gonna walk up to the man and like motion him to plug his ears.
Plug his ears. Alrighty. Give me a diplomacy check, and while you're doing that, I will talk about Leica's perception check. Leica, you peer out the window with your soul sight. As you peer out the window with your soul sight, it is perhaps not what you see, but rather what you don't see that bothers you. You can see spirits moving and swirling, floating, excuse me, not swirling, but floating, around the village. As you peer into this space of spirits that you can see, it's almost like there is a nothingness.
I'm sorry?
Huh. I thought things weren't right before.
Let's see. That was a perception check. So, the nothingness that you see is long, thin, and well, I guess long isn't the right word. It's thinned and round and very, 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 very tall. Almost like whatever this nothingness is towering above the village.
Okay, I think I might have been wrong on what this thing is.
Shit's fucked. Shit's fucked.
I
I
was
don't like this.
Everybody knows shit.
man.
maybe. I
Dang,
don't know.
dang, man.
Ooh.
I need to know more.
Need to know more.
Well-
Scarcron, your diplomacy check. You convince the man to plug his ears. In fact, you convince the man that he should like plug his ears, right? So he brings his hands up and he sticks his fingers into his ears. The moment that he does, he screams, his hands fly out of his ears, and then he's immediately calm again.
I have an idea.
Okay?
I also have an idea.
Okay.
Just try to keep him calm.
This is okay. Yeah, you guys are gonna need to help keep him calm. I'm going to fire my rifle right next to his ears.
No, that'll drag more
No.
people here.
Here's the
Also-
thing. You can use that as a way to, because your ears will ring. Whatever sound is entering his ears to make him like this, the ringing of the shot.
You could
and-
also deafen the man. I have a more practical solution.
Dude, you could
Oh,
just
come on! I was gonna use this. This I learned from. Where did I learn this from? This was like oh shoot! What was that sci-fi show? Where the guy was this brilliant, weird scientist dude. His son died, but then he took an alternate reality version of his son and took it back. What is the name of that?
I've never heard
Oh,
of anything like that. So
Oh,
I have no idea.
I don't like this. I should know this. It was.
So one of the scroll, because Kona can make 2 scrolls every day, and I make them at the start of each day. I had planned to use
Fringe.
That's
it.
use this on if the brands made us try to do something weird or crazy. But she has a scroll of calm emotions. And she was going to cast that on this guy so that he won't panic.
Mhm.
Oh,
He'll just be relaxed.
Sir,
okay.
I know this will be a weird request. Squarkon has his bag on the floor. He's rummaging for gloves.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to plug your ears. Squarkon finds the gloves, slides them on. Now, would you rather me use wax or just my fingers? I'm unfortunately ill-equipped at the moment. I do not have earplugs.
Mhm.
So
I mean,
Kona's
you're
actually. Go ahead.
I mean, you are pretty loud enough. You could just scream at his head rather than risk deafening him permanently.
Kona's gonna
Shooting a
hold
bullet
up.
next to his ears would not be permanent hearing damage.
You say that like
Kona's gonna hold up the scroll in front of the guy, and explain to him that this is a calming spell. That is all it does.
Alrighty.
And as it's like, do I have your permission to cast this on you? Because when you're deafened, you will panic. Trust me. I know you don't remember panicking, but you'll panic. All this will do is keep you from panicking. That's it.
It'll be like you're at the beach.
Right.
You'll feel an incredible sense of calm.
You feel an incredible sense of calm. So Enlil here will nod at you, and say, he'll say something along the lines of like, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like you're onto something. And so to put it game mechanic wise, you've succeeded 3 times on, like diplomacies here with this guy. And so now his view towards you has turned, his trust has turned enough towards you that you're not having to immediately make another, you don't have to keep making checks.
Cool.
At least for the moment, so.
So could he be considered voluntarily failing his save?
Yes. He is willing to let you cast on him, so he will
She's
fail
going to
the
get
save.
out her scroll. She's going to hold up the scroll of calm emotions and, and cast a spell on him.
Archon will ask Enlil to sir, just relax, and he plugs the ears.
Plugs the ears. Alrighty. Let's see here. Let's see. Forcibly calm creatures in the area, soothing them into a non-violent state. Let's see. Any emotion effects that would affect the creature are suppressed, and the creature can't use hostile actions. Target is subject to hostility. It ceases to be affected. But because he's willingly doing this, this would also technically count as a critical failure either way. In either case, the important thing is that
he's really chill.
he is chill. When you plug his ears, you can see that he is visibly still shaken. But he's not, freaking out and screaming and things like that. He seems to be it. I almost want to say he looks like he's in a daze because he's just kind of looking out with this look of shock on his face, kind of thing.
He is shell shocked. He is PTSD galore.
Right.
Can you tell us what you see?
Well, he can't hear you right now. Which is the thing I immediately realized was going to be fun about that.
Since this involved covering his ears, now that Kona's done casting the scroll, can she refocus on the trick with her lantern to keep suppressing the effect?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, so she's just going to be spending her action every round, so to speak.
Okay.
Just focusing the light on him and keeping the effect at bay, so that you can take your hands off his ears and talk to him.
Take your hands off his ears and talk. All right. Yeah. Is that Is that fine? Is that good? Is
Yeah.
that okay? Just wanted to be, since it was Scarcon that was, holding
Yeah.
his ears.
Sharkon's going to take off his gloves, and toss them to the side. They're disposable gloves.
Right. All right. Let's see.
Like any medical professional should have.
As long as they're not latex. Some of us might be allergic.
So he is currently calm and he can hear. He's not saying or really react. He's not saying anything or really reacting in any way because he is forcibly calm. So he's, you remove, Scarcron removes his hands and the guy just, is still just kind of exactly the same way he was prior. When
sir.
his ears were plugged, is what I mean. So.
Okay, sir. What you saw, describe it to me.
He says, I saw its face. It stared right at me. It grew closer and closer, and I could do nothing. As I stared, it was there one moment and then not, and then back, almost as if it was teasing, making itself impossible to see, only to make itself visible. And then my wife, she jumped up. Its mouth closed around her. And then it left.
I'm so sorry. What? Wait, quick! Somebody, give him a pencil and a piece of paper.
Oh shit.
I'm busy focusing. Somebody else has to do this.
Right.
Do what now?
I don't have paper. Fuck.
Chalk. I give him a piece of chalk.
Piece of chalk?
And
I mean, you do have the paper from earlier. Don't forget.
Use the back of it. He needs to write something that won't be suppressed by the effect, because this may not be permanent.
Right.
And she looks at the guy and is like, I need you to write on the paper, they helped me remember.
Alrighty. Let me see.
This Scarcon, meanwhile, is going to go up to Leica and stand next to her and say, "Hey, you may want to plug your ears if you cannot see anything out there." He has his back turned to the window. He does not want to look. I don't know what it is, but it sounds big and it sounds bad. And quite possibly very, very ugly.
And it's singing.
Singing.
Yes, and it's singing.
it's singing.
I'm guessing the rest of you can't hear it. the mind has to be pushed to a certain point to be able to hear it.
Oh, so you have to be insane.
Well, you know me, I'm already crazy.
But might want to plug your ears. It is a what's the term?
It's like a siren song of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't know you're hearing it, but when you hear it, you forget.
Mm-hmm. Cassandra, who has indeed been here this entire time, by the way. She just hasn't done anything because she's let you handle everything. Cassandra, having heard you mention plugging your ears, she is going to kind of give you all a nod and say, I will not need to plug my ears. I will simply turn them off.
You can turn your hearing off?
You're gonna turn your ears off?
She, you see her ears kind of droop because they're the little like cat ear, fox ear, whatever they are, right?
Hmm.
Me. Oh no, wait, that's right. She, I didn't use.
She's an Aura.
Yeah, she's
Oh, wait, no,
Aura.
she's
She's
an
not
android.
Mikote. So what you see, this is gonna be even better. What you see, yeah, she has these big long things coming off the side of her head, right?
Mm-hmm.
They begin to fold in on each other and then slide into her head.
Hmm.
As soon as this happens,
He's just open mouthed in the background.
as soon as these things on the side of her head, go into her head, her eyes go wide and she points at the window and screams, "There's a lot of them out there!"
A lot of them?
A lot of what?
I'm
right.
not looking. I'm not looking.
Cal's gonna get curious.
Mm-mm.
He's going to take his weapon and he's gonna hold it to where the muzzle of the gun is right next to his ear holes.
Your hole. Okay.
And he's going to fire.
No. Just
Dude,
plug
come
it,
on.
goddamn. Just plug your ears.
Ah. Fine.
Kona
he's
is too busy maintaining her lantern effect to check
Right.
that out.
He's just gonna cover his ears and take a look.
Okay. You cover your ears and look outside. And that is when you see them. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm pretty sure I have yes, I have just the head. that I can use as a token. Good. I just gotta drop them down. One there. And one over here. One over here. And then two more all the way over here.
I freaking knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
You see,
Quite horrible looking.
False Hydras.
False
Fuck.
Hydras.
as you
Okay.
look out the window, you see 5 long heads towering over the village. Their
I wanted to
faces,
fight these things.
their faces and necks are pure white. Their fangs are dripping with the blood of those they have eaten. Their mouths hang open in the way that their jaw is just unhinged and just like drooping down.
I knew it. I knew it was them.
You can't hear it, but it's clear that something is coming out of their mouths.
Yep.
Some sort of song, more than likely.
That's fuck. Huh. So that's what you fucks had
And
to deal with.
this is why I should have used my weapon
Yeah,
and
sure.
not just pulled my ears.
Oh yeah, sure. Waste a bullet on a guy rather than the monstrosity hulking outside.
No, that's not what I'm referring to. I was referring to using my weapon, the shots fired, as a natural silent
The way to silence. But also,
yeah, because the muzzle the bang when
yeah,
fired
I'll
next to the
note-
ear will
I'll note
deafen your hearing
that
for a while.
you can't hear each other because you have your ears covered. And the moment that you pull your hands away from your ears to try to talk, you won't remember them
Yeah.
anymore. So
That's good to
while that conversation could be had,
This is more like
out of
outside
character.
of yeah. This is
Yeah.
this is more out of character. Yeah.
Well, like I said, while that could be out of character, and that's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, if Cal were to remove his ears, he would forget
remove his
everything.
ears.
Or remove, he would remove his
Ear
hand.
pro.
Yeah.
His ear pro.
Yeah. I mean, if he removed his ears, that would make it so he doesn't hear anything. So,
I assume there would be a panicked reaction, like, "Oh fuck!" You know?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm assuming.
But out of
that-
character, using my weapon as a hearing nullifier
nullifier.
would be handy, because that way I could not hear them and still use my weapon.
Mhm.
Or we can actually wax everyone's ears like we're fucking Odysseus.
Right.
I'm not using your earwax.
Not. Okay.
Mhm.
Me.
I mean,
Well, it looks like my friends need me. She's saying to the guy. She's like, I really hope you can still remember when I turn this off, but I guess we'll find out.
We'll
and
find out.
she takes the lantern light off him.
all right. Unfortunately, as you may have guessed, he is a civilian, and making the will save that he would have to make is more or less impossible for someone with
More or
his
less
stats.
impossible, yeah. But at least he
Um,
has the note saying they helped me remember
yeah.
in his own handwriting. So
If he rolled, well, I guess if he rolled a nat 20, it would still only be a success, which wouldn't be enough to completely diminish the effect. So,
Actually, a critical success is a critical success, no matter if it's plus 10 or 20.
right. But even with a natural 20, it would still fail. And in Pathfinder, if you get a critical success, like if you roll a nat 20, then you roll the thing that the success like goes up by one. So it would go from failure to success instead of critical success. So
yeah, it's basically like an additive system as opposed to an automatic
Oh.
success system.
yeah, yep.
Hmm.
Normally when we've been critical successing, it's been a critical success, but that's because the DCs haven't been high enough for that to still count as a failure. A 20 would still count as a failure, even if it's a natural 20.
So the
And
best
so-
he could get is a success.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the best he can get is a success, which, while it would diminish the effects, it would not be enough for him to be able to remember in any long term. So basically,
I am still curious to see if he could roll a 20 though.
yeah.
Even if it doesn't do much, I'm still curious.
Let's see. 15.
Nope. Oh well.
So you take the light off of him, and he just immediately slips back into I have no idea what's going on mode. So with
But he
no
feels really relaxed about
recollection
it, at
of
least.
what's happened.
I think that lasts for what, like a full minute? The calm emotions thing.
Calm emotion.
I think it's like a minute.
Yes. I think it's technically. Maybe it's not. Its duration is sustained up to 1 minute. So I don't know if that's
Okay.
like concentration or. Because it doesn't
Yeah.
have the concentrate trait. So I don't think it's
I think you
concentration.
have to accidentally. Hold on, let me look this up. Sustain.
Yeah.
I d-
Sustained up to 1 minute. So like. I don't know if that means it's a concentration, if that means you have to like do something every round to sustain, or but it's not concentration because it doesn't have the concentration trait.
It is concentration.
Oh, it is?
But you have to go to sustain a spell, and then it has the concentrate trait.
Oh, okay. Sustain a spell. Oh yeah, sustaining spell. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it is. It's a concentration.
So both effects end like at the same time because she's got other things to focus on.
Right.
And she's gonna move to the window to see like what's being looked at.
See what's being looked at. All right. Yeah, I mean, you can not only see it, but you can hear it. There are 5 heads that go up in, they are 120 feet tall, these heads.
First creature.
So, and you can see that they do go down into a hole, clearly meaning there is more below.
Oh, no.
Hmm. I'm happy we actually get to fight one. I've always wanted to.
Indeed.
This will be a different experience.
Yeah.
And the question will be, how will you fight one? But that's something we'll have to figure out next session. Because it's almost 12 o'clock. And this seems
My
like
money
a good
is
spot to
my money is on earplugs and a lot of ammunition.
stop.
This is a reminder.
Yeah,
Thank
Bedtime.
you're definitely going to need something. So,
Well, my first plan for when we start next time is to see if Kona can suppress the effect on it directly.
on it directly. Right. Makes sense.
Then you'd have the entire village up in like a panic.
Cause yeah, cause I remembered, that you had mentioned that your lantern had a thing that like removed concealment.
Negates the concealed, yeah.
I thought like it was like a passive thing, but
No,
guess
I have
it's
to activate
not.
it and then keep focusing on it to keep it
Focusing
active.
on it.
It does not, fortunately, I don't think it actually requires concentration, but it does require me to spend an action.
Right. Well, before we break here, another 20 experience for handling an little baby over here.
Oh, it does actually have the concentrate trait, so I have to, so I
Oh.
can't do anything else that takes concentration.
Oh dear. Okay. So yes, another 20 experience for handling Enlil. Technically it's for discovering the false Hydra. But you know, it's just kind of mixed in with what you've done, you know, with Enlil there. So yeah, unfortunately, as it, you know, has probably become obvious, he did have a wife. She is no longer.
Yeah, she was eaten.
She was
Yeah,
eaten.
keyword
Yeah,
did.
when false hydras devour their victims, it's like they never existed
Like they,
at all.
It's like they never existed. That's why he was like, I don't remember living with anybody.
Yeah.
So.
Also,
This
flavor text. X, Dio just stares it down.
But yeah, I mean, figuring out how you're gonna handle that is definitely something you're gonna have to do in the next session, because for two of you, as soon as you drop your hands, you're not gonna see it or even remember it anymore.
Well, technically, what
will
Cal? I mean,
Uh,
I mean,
Would it?
deafening, you know, deafening yourself will work, but also the thing that I'm going to question is, you know, there are 5 heads,
mhm.
but that's not the whole thing, you know.
Right. There's more. Like, there's a base to them.
Right. So you're gonna have to figure out how to find that. So it really is gonna come into question, like, how
Drop down
are
the
you
hole?
going to fight this thing, but also
Is there a
find
well?
it
There's got
without,
to be like a well or cave entrance or something.
you know, yeah. So they're
And deafening
probably,
yourself long term means you wouldn't be getting any information from the party.
yeah. That's
Unless,
that's the main
like,
thing.
we'd have to, like, I don't know, find a way to
we have
communicate.
writing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can write things down.
You have writing,
It's very hard to write in the middle of a battle.
right?
No. But
It's called hand signals.
Hold hands.
The military.
Kona, all Conan needs to do is get the weakness, and then Skrarkon can use his quick alchemy to make bomb. He
Right.
can quick alchemy bombs, but he can't quick out or perpetual infusion.
Mhm.
Anything but his first level alchemist fire.
Mhm.
Yeah, if Kona rolls good
And-
enough on her exploit, she can either tell you its greatest vulnerability or everything it's vulnerable to.
Right.
If it's weak to fire, man, it's gonna be a party.
Right.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, it's something that you'll have to figure out what and how to deal with, in the next session, next couple of sessions even. I I was so I'm gonna be honest. I really struggled with figuring out how to do this false Hydra. Because I'm watching all the videos of it, and it's like, well, yeah, everybody forgets, and you did like, how are you gonna do? And I'm going, I just don't fully like. How do you hide it from the players? But also the characters know sometimes, but don't know sometimes. And I think it was Dungeon Dad's video where he said, one of the best things you can do with this encounter is let your players discover it and know what's going on, and then let them roleplay out themselves that they're forgetting. And so I was just like, when I heard him say that, I just went, you know what? That's exactly it. So, I'm hoping that it was kind of clear that, like, I was letting you figure out what was going on.
Also, in the interests of not metagaming, since I knew about the false Hydra well in advance.
Yes.
That's why I was having Kona roll occultism rather than esoteric lore, because she wasn't thinking a monster. She was thinking everyone was under some kind of spell.
Some kind of
And
spell.
that's why Skrarkon rolled anatomy.
Right.
I just had like a look outside because the dude kept saying it.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that is one thing. I really am thankful, especially for Kat being co-DM essentially, because she's helped out a lot in figuring out some of this too.
Oh, we brainstormed that thing like so many times.
Kat and I brainstormed this so many times. So I mean, unfortunately, yes, it means that not everybody gets a surprise because Kat knows. But at the same time, like, I would never have gotten even this far with it if I hadn't had Kat, at least.
I'm also hardcore dedicated to not metagaming, which is why I only thought about, like, what would Kona be thinking?
Right.
And that way it doesn't give away any spoilers to anyone.
Right.
I don't think I gave away any spoilers.
No, I
I
came to the conclusion on my own, like based on like the information,
Yeah.
everything was like that coalesced.
Consuming anything and everything TTRPG, so I knew.
Yeah.
I knew immediately. But look, it is perfectly creepy. No matter what.
So stoked.
It is exceedingly creepy.
And that was one thing that I kind of was, and that was sort of part of the struggle I was having too. I'm going, the false I just learned about the false Hydra when Dungeon Dad posted the video of the false Hydra. Like, that was my first introduction to it. And it was like the second time rewatching the video that I like came to that conclusion of the just let the players know what's going on. But But the first time I had heard about it was when Dungeon Dad posted the video, and I went, that's really cool. And so, like, then I was like, I want to incorporate it. But then I'm going, I'm generally the last person to find out about anything. So the moment I try to throw this at, like, the party, 99% chance everybody's immediately going to know what's going on. So I'm, like, trying to figure out, like, well, how do I do an encounter with this creature that's really well known, but also you don't know it. As soon as I watched the video the second time, and he said, the best thing to do is to let your players know and let them handle it. I went, that solves exactly what I've been struggling with for weeks now.
I think this played out really well.
So,
actually.
Oh yeah, I think it played out really well. So, that said, to those watching the podcast, if you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to check the playlist for other episodes of the podcast. The other sessions. There are 6 prior to this, and there are an unknown amount after this, because we're recording this one. There's only 7. So, there's that. But also, again, make sure you like and comment and all of the stuff that you're supposed to do on YouTube. Because it would be great if we could get this out. I love my universe. I have been working on this universe legitimately since I was 10 years old. So, like, that's 25 years I have been working on this universe, and I would love nothing more than to be able to create, buckets of content. I don't know what other word to use there, but, I would love nothing more than to just create, content for this universe, have people enjoy this universe, and so on. So, if you enjoy it, let your friends know, show it to them, help out help out a group trying to expand their world. And don't forget Patreon and Discord links down below. Honestly, that's the thing that helps support the channel the most. But showing off the videos to other people will also help, greatly. So, with that, I don't have anything else to say, so I'll turn it over to everybody else to see if they have something to say before I end.
No, the usual push all the buttons.
As usual, push all the buttons, right? So,
good night, everybody.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and feed the algorithm.
The algorithm.
And hopefully everyone had fun.
Right? Oh, yeah.
I hope you all enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
See you later.
See ya.